Hello and welcome to a session I'm calling Up and Down Leg Day. We will be working on our lower body, both from standing and from laying down. You will need a mat, a chair, a towel, a weight of some kind, a squishy ball or a yoga block or a pillow. We're going to march it out, moving the arms and legs. Add a little toe tap. Tap and step, tap and step, tap and step, tap and step. And even wider legs into a side-to-side lunge, reaching down with opposite arm, low punches, allowing for a twist and rotation in the trunk of the body. And let's do doubles. 2 and 1, switch sides, 2 and 1. Bend and bend, switch, bend and bend. Tapping the ground, getting a little lower, and single side to side with low taps. Reach across. Bring the hands up to the thighs and drop one shoulder and switch. Looking over that back shoulder and switch. Drop one shoulder forward, pressing into that inner thigh. Hands on the hips, shoulders on top of hips, drop the tailbone, tighten the tummy, external rotation. Feet are much wider than the hips, and let's plie, bending the knees and straightening the legs. Bend and extend. Inhale, bend, exhale, extend. Drop it a little lower without arching the back. Stay here at the bottom. Let's reach the arms open wide and pulse it out. Keep pulsing, reach arms forward. Interlace fingers, palms up to the sky. Keep pulsing and pulsing. And reach the arms out to a T shape, fingertips up. Stay here and add a little heel pop at the bottom before straightening to the top. Bend, pop, drop, and straighten. Bend, heels pop, heels drop, and straighten. Arms are held in that T shape to the side. And now let's bend the knees, sit the hips low, and just let those arms hug in and open wide. Round in, open wide. Take it overhead. Keep hips low, keep abdominals in. And lunge it out side to side. We'll add some big sweeping opening arm circles. Crossing through the center and lifting up and over to the side. And a little lower, let's bring the chest forward, drop the shoulders down. Keep those legs lunging out side to side, knee on top of ankle. Heel toe it into the center, come on up to standing, and find a squishy ball. Placing between the knees, you could also use a block or a pillow. Lifting the toes, shifting our weight into our heels. We're going to bend the knees, sitting back into a squat, squeezing in through the center as we stand up tall. Inhale, bend. Exhale, stand up tall. Reaching arms forward as we sit and out to a T as we stand tall. Try arms lifting overhead now as we sit and then dropping down as we stand tall. See if toes can stay lifted throughout these squats. Hold low and pulse it out. Hands to the low back. Lift abdominals. Bring palms together. We'll add a little pop of the heels and then come up to standing. Pop the heels as you bend the knees. Drop the heels and stand tall. So we squat, pop, drop, stand. Squat, pop, heels, drop, and stand. Stay low, keep the knees bent, and just pop and drop the heels up and down, sit back a little lower. Good job, and release, just folding over those legs. Bend one knee, then the other. Coming up to standing. Bringing one foot on top of the squishy ball. We're going to do single leg squats, keeping most of your weight on that supporting leg. Bend the knee as the arms reach forward, and inhale, stand tall. Exhale, bend and reach the arms forward, and inhale, stand tall. Try to keep the squishy ball nice and still. Hold at the bottom. Let's pulse it out. Little pulse and exhale, exhale. Stay low, extending the leg to push the ball forward and back. Forward and back, a very light foot on top of that squishy ball. Arms are moving. Come up and try side number 2. Shake it out a little bit. Bring your second foot lightly on top of the squishy ball or just floating in the air as we sit back and stand tall. Arms come forward as we sit back and stand tall. Sit and stand. Arm choreography, straight arms forward, and then they open to the side as we stand tall. Sit and reach the arms forward and then wide to the side as we come back up, standing tall. Sit and tall, arms forward and side. Pulse it out, abdominals in, little pulse, pulse, pulse. Try to stay low. And let's extend the leg, moving the ball forward and back. Forward a few inches and back. Leg extends and bends. Going for about 8. Keep the breath. Good job. And come on up to standing. Shake it out. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. Just a little cardio move here in the middle. We're just bending the knees and extending one leg to the side. And bend the knees, extend the other leg to the side. Low and high, down and up. Adding some arms, crossing as the leg extends at the side, widening as we bend through the center. Let's lift the arms up a little higher as we reach the leg out to the side. The arms lift to the sky. Bend and extend, parallel legs. Getting a little cardio burst for a minute. And good job, shake that out. Placing the squishy ball between the calves, external rotation, we'll move into calf raises. Lift the heels up high and place them back down to the ground. Exhale up, exhale up. Arms open to a T-shape, palms forward, shoulders down. Let's try lifting the arms higher to the sky. Open the palms, keep the heels up, and we'll add a little plie at the bottom. Knees bent, arms down, and then arms lift as the heels lift. Low, open to the side, lift up and down. Plie, T-shape arms, lift the heels, and lower down. Breathe. Few more times. Let's stay at the top, hands on top of the head, lift the crown to the palms, and a little quicker with those heels, those calf raises. Heels lift and lift and lift and lift. Try to keep heels lifted and bend the knees. Balance and breathe. Shoulders on top of hips. T-shape arms. Try to maintain the ball, but if it falls, you just let it go. and continue on. The idea is that squeezing into the center. And parallel legs. Lower the heels, shake it out for a moment. Using a towel underneath my knees, come into hands and knees position and extend the leg back behind you. Let's lift up and down. Shoulders on top of the hands. Very similar to when we were using the chair. Flex the foot, legs are parallel, so toes and kneecap facing the ground. Hold at the top for little pulses. Each pulse gets longer. Heel reaches farther away from the hip. Now curl those toes into the ground so you can lift the second leg into little pulses. Pike the hips higher into downward dog, and let's do big kicks here, lifting up and down as you maintain down dog. Bring the shoulders over the hands and let's pulse that leg. Pulse and pulse, point the toes. Bend the knee underneath you, extend it back behind you. Inhale, bend, exhale, extend. The hips, they want to pop up high, but try to keep them same height as the shoulders. And rest the knees down. Taking that squishy ball behind the first leg, locking that shape into alignment, tap the knee down and then lift the knee away from the ground. This allows us to not straighten the leg as we lift it. We maintain the shape and it's the glute that does the work. Hold here for little pulses at the top. And then reach your opposite arm forward and find that hamstring as you squeeze into the ball. Squeeze into the ball, little release and squeeze. Release and squeeze, keep that knee high. Pull those abdominals in. And great job. Let's sit to the heels. Child's pose, stretch it out for a moment. Moving into side number 2. Hands and knees, extend the second leg, point the toes, and let's lift and lower that leg. Try to lift without arching the back, so keep your abdominals participating. They also lift up into the body with every lift of the leg. Flex the foot, keep that going. Shoulders are steady. Little pulses here. Point the toes and pulse. And then take that foot and drop it into the floor so we can lift the second leg up into little pulses with a pointed toe. Pike the hips higher into downward dog and let's do full kicks that lower to the ground and lift high to the sky. Straight arms, straight legs, straight spine. Exhale and lift high. Inhale, lower down. And bring shoulders over the hands into plank. And that same leg doing little pulses with pointed toe. Bend the knee underneath and extend the leg long behind you. Bend and extend, almost there. Inhale, bend. Exhale, extend. Go for 8. Rest that knee down. Find the squishy ball into the other leg. Lock it in place behind the knee, foot flexed, and let's drop and lift that knee, keeping the exact same shape in the leg as it lowers and lifts. More abs as you lift, so exhale, abs and lift. Stay at the top and pulse it out like you're making a footprint to the ceiling. Pulse and pulse. Reach opposite arm forward and let's find that hamstring to squeeze into the ball. Squeeze into the ball. Squeeze and squeeze. Knee a little higher. Wow. And release. Knees wide as the mat. Sit to those heels. Reach forward, hands on top of the ball. You can rock gently side to side. Inhale here. Nice long exhale. Come into a sitting position. We're going to widen the legs into a straddle and push the ball forward, bringing our chest forward, looking down. Let's flex those feet and stretch it out. Find the breath. If you find you're holding the breath, then back off a little bit. It doesn't need to be so intense. The breath is what's most important. Take it over to the side towards one foot, push the ball away, hands on top, and let that collarbone reach forward to the toes. Breathe in, check your breath. And take it to the second side. Long spine, sitting bones planted. See what your breath is doing or not doing. Bring it over into a side bend, the ball behind the foot, push it away. Hand to the back of the head, looking up to the sky. Breathe into the side, the ribs, hips and shoulders. And switch sides. Sweeping up and overhead, and then that top hand to the back of the head. Let's press the head into the hand. Look up, find the breath. More space for that breath to drop into the body. Hands behind you. Let's cross one ankle over the opposite knee and bring the chest forward to that leg. Straight spine. If you find you're rounding the back, then you have to bring that bottom foot farther away from you. Neutral spine, sit up nice and tall, breathe in, and try it on side number 2. Lift collarbone, lift the chest, lift crown of the head. Top knee widening to the side. Breathe in, look up, and release. Let's rock side to side, dropping knees one side, then the other. Keeping chest open and lifted, and breath flowing. Drop down to the elbow and pull that top heel towards the glute as your bottom foot floats onto the top knee. Quadriceps stretch, hip flexor stretch. See if the top knee can lower. And now sweep that top leg around and across the bottom leg. Hug the knee in close and twist toward that top knee. Plant sitting bones down, but lift collarbone up. Create space in the middle. That same twist to the other side. First, hugging the knee to the chest, sit up tall, breathe in, and now wrap that opposite arm around farther and twist a little bit deeper. Look behind you. Take that top leg into quadriceps stretch as you drop down to the elbow. But instead of slouching, lift up and away from that bottom shoulder. Bottom foot is placed on top of the top knee, so that top knee can lower to the ground and we get a deeper stretch in the front of the leg and hip. Release and find your way into a plank pose. Exhale, downward dog. Bend one knee and hold for a breath. Switch leg number 2. Walk the hands back to the toes into a forward fold over the legs and shake out the head side to side, release the neck. Hug in a little closer, wrapping arms around the legs. Bring the palms to the ground, bend the knees, and then slowly take your time, walking hands up the legs and rolling all the way up to standing tall. Let's roll those shoulders up, back, around and down. Now that we made it back up again, nice big full flowing arm circles, nice soft bounces in the knees. And let's do a nice big breath up to the sky. Circle the arms before dropping it down again. Reach up tall, circle and plie down to the bottom. Come down nice and low, elbows into those inner thighs as we shift side to side. Popping the toes on one side, then the other. And thank you very much for joining me today, everybody. Until next time.